Connected by church. Stay connected for a lifetime. And so I thought it was great that Mike would do this for us today. Many of you probably know a familiar book that came out, and it's written by Robert Munch, and it is called Love You Forever? Yes, Love You Forever. And it's one of those books that you read as a parent to your kids, and you cry, and you read as a kid when you get old enough, and you appreciate your parents and your life together. The story, if you do not know the story, goes something like this. A mother is holding her new baby, and as she holds the baby and rocks it in the rocking chair, she sings to that baby, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." And so the years go by, and the kid grows up, and now he's 2. Terrible 2s. And the kid is running around pulling all the books off the shelves and throwing things in the sink that shouldn't be there, and tearing all the toilet paper off of the roll and running through the house with it. And he even takes his mother's watch and throws it down the toilet and flushes. And the mother looks at that child and wants to sell him to the zoo. But that night, when the child is all asleep, tucked into its bed, the mother crawls into the room quietly, silently, looks up at the sleeping child, and she sings the song again. "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." And then the days pass, and that 2-year-old becomes a teenager. Need I say more? Becomes a teenager, and he has weird hair and wears weird clothes, and he listens to strange music, and he doesn't want to do anything that anybody tells him to do. And the mother thinks she lives in the zoo. And yet, late at night, when that child finally crawls into bed and goes to sleep, the mother opens the door and peeks in at her child and says, "I love you for always. I like you forever. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." And then the kid grows up, and he goes off to school, and mom and dad are loading up the car with all of the boxes, and they drive forever to get this child to a new location, and they unload the car and they drive away, leaving the child and all the belongings in this strange place, and they're kind of wondering, did we do the right thing? And they drive home, and they walk in the house, and they go past his room, and it is strangely quiet and strangely empty. But yet, that night, they calm down and they say the song together. "We love you for always. We like you forever. As long as you're living, my baby you'll be." Well, then the child grows up and becomes a man, and takes a wife and has children, and the parents don't hear from him forever, and he's gone, and they're wondering, well, what is he doing? Is something wrong? And he finally calls, and he says, "Oh, I don't know why I haven't called, except life is just so busy, and it's so tense, and the baby's always sick, and the wife has just got laid off from her job, and anyway, I gotta go." And he hangs up. And the mother and the father listen from the other he's doing fine. And as long as he's living, we'll love you forever. We'll like you for always. As long as you're living, my baby you'll be. And then as the years go by, the young man, the older man, gets a call and says, you better come home, son. Your mom's not doing too well. You better come home if you're wanting to see her. And so the son drives across town, and he goes in the house, and he walks up to his mother's bedroom, and he takes her hand in his. And she looks at her son, and she tries to sing the song. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. But she can't finish. And so the son looks at her in his mother's eyes and says, as long as I'm living, my mother you'll be. And he picks his mom up and he carries her over to the rocking chair. And this small, frail woman who used to be the strong and tall woman that rocked him is now being rocked by her son. And we all know the song that he sings. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my mother you'll be. And so he puts his mother to bed. And he leaves the house. And he drives back across town. And he walks up the stairs as everyone's asleep. And as he gets to the top of the stairs, he looks over and he sees the door to the baby's room open. And he walks in and he picks up his child and says, I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Touching story. A story that gives us the message that life is connected all the time. That we are connected with each other, and that as families, and as church families, and as communities, and as school systems, and as businesses within a community, we're all connected. And it all takes all of us loving each other and taking the time to hold each other and rock each other when we need it, and let us run when we need it. It's a time of knowing that God puts us together in a community, and Cole and Jason and Sam, as you go out from this community, I hope that before you leave here today, you will look around and you'll see just who's sitting in these chairs. Because the people sitting in these chairs beside you, in front of you, and behind you, they are the people who have watched you grow. They have watched you go through the process of your life. And they have given you the freedom and the encouragement to go where you want to go and be who you want to be. And you don't know yet how hard that is for parents to do. Because there's something about us that would just love to protect you every moment of every day and say, no, don't do that. Yes, you know. But they have let you go, and they're letting you go now to a place where you have chosen. Nicodemus, as Mike shared with us today, Nicodemus came to Jesus at night, and all kinds of sermons about why. But he comes to Jesus as a leader of the church with questions. And he comes to Jesus and says, well, we've seen everything you've done, and we know you have to be of God because of the things you do, but who are you? And how do you do this? And what are you all about? And here's Nicodemus who has been raised in the church and is a leader of the church, has been well educated in the church, and yet he sees Jesus and he says, I don't know who you are, but I know you're someone special. And just as Nicodemus came to Jesus, you're going to encounter a lot of questions in the days to come. You're going to be seeking answers to the questions that come to you in life. And they come uniquely to you. And they come to you just like everyone else. Because you're the one that has to answer the questions. And you're the one that has to be patient and know that even if you make the wrong decision, you can look around here and see a bunch of people who love you and have been able to love you as you were growing up and maturing and finding yourself, and that you can come back to this sanctuary anytime in your life when your questions aren't making sense. And you will find the same God here that's here today, that we are celebrating, that we are blessing you with, that we are saying we have done what we could do from to this point in your life to teach you about God, and that the answers to your questions are somehow connected with God. But you have to find them, the answers. But know you are always welcome to come back here. You can come back here and you can visit whoever you want to and ask them for their advice, and you can sit in this room and pray. And if mom and dad are saying, you're not back again, well, Jason, why don't you go to Sam's parents, and Sam, you go to Cole's parents, and Cole, you go over here to Jason's parents. And you can find a welcoming place for just you. Graduation is a wonderful time. It's one of the few rites of passage that we have left in our society. And it is an important rite of passage. Because in our society, once you've graduated from high school, it is a sign of saying you are an adult. You are capable of making your own decisions. You are free to go and carve out your own life. And we'll pay the bills until. So I hope that after today and after graduation, that you will know that we believe in you. We believe in you. We have confidence in you. And you know what? Even if you fall flat on your face and everyone here has to come and pick you up, we still believe in you. And we still want you to be all that you want to be. All that you want to be. Because that's why God made you the way you are. And that's why God calls you to be who you are. And every once in a while, when you're away at college, you might take a moment or two to send an email to mom and dad and say, thank you for loving me forever. Thank you for liking me for always. And as long as I'm living, I'll be proud to be your son.